on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. All those good choices, Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm back to do just that. All right, there we go. All right, hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. But it's time to get busy. So I can't see the chat yet. Where you at? Let's see if I can see the chat. Where you at? All right, I see some people. Says, I'm here with the adopted child. Hammer. That's right. We're going to be talking about Hammer tonight. In fact, as we're dropping the hammer and finishing up on what we was talking about last night, which, of course, it's MAGA country now. That's right. Who runs MAGA town? Trump runs MAGA town. So people said they can hear me. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get loose so I can get busy. And of course, the Steelers are playing, so gotta get done. Like real cold blood, real cold blood, real cold blood. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Now, with that being said, y'all, I can see myself over there. Everything looks good. If this is your first time checking out the show, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the social media platforms. All the links are below. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure your notification buttons are turned on. We are trying to grow to 200,000, which we had once in the past been way over 200,000. But unfortunately, YouTube took a lot of my subscribers away, and now it's kept me at 199. Which is ridiculous. Somebody said it's their birthday. Let's see who that was. All right. Happy birthday, Mick Allen. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Yeah, man. Now, there is a Kevin's Corner store. If you get a chance, check out some of the merch. Somebody said they got a hoodie from there yesterday. So great. Thank you. Appreciate it. And that number on the screen, 330-974-4607, is the number you text MAGA to. So you can stay in contact with me just in case they out me on this here platform. And then if you want to just bless me, you know what I'm saying? Just start dropping all kind of dollars and change and stuff like that in my PayPal account, or, you know, my, what is the other one? PayPal and Cash App. Feel free. The links are right below each video. Definitely would appreciate it. Now, let's get into this because, guys, last night, we were talking about how things are changing, and it appears that the atmosphere is changing, the culture is changing. Folks are starting to become more excited about President Trump and his plan for America, which is really the vision that we've all had for America as well. All we want to do is just see America grow. We want to see people love the country. We want to be able to pursue love, peace, joy, happiness, financial stability, all the things that most humans want. But we have an element out there that was definitely trying to take us in a direction that we didn't want the country to go. And thank God Trump interrupted it again. See, this is part two. He interrupted it again in a big fashion to where it's leaving no doubt the way a lot of Americans see the Democrats and the way a lot of Americans want the country to go in. But unfortunately, there are a lot of other Americans that are either ignorant and don't see where we're going, which they're just going to have to come along for the ride. You got to treat them like kids, unfortunately. Just get in the car. But where we going? Don't get in the car. Okay, don't ask questions. We're going for a ride. But there's evil forces. There's folks in leadership that definitely don't want to see that happen. And some of them are Democrats that run states and cities that are planning to resist President Trump and his mandate to go in and start getting some of these illegal immigrants out the country, which we're going to finish up dissecting and tearing these folks apart because they're cruising for a bruising. They want Tom the Hammer Holman to come in and drop the hammer on them. They want that. But it appears also that some folks in other countries are also getting a whiff of what's going on. They're starting to say, you know what? I'm up for election, and I see that folks in their own country really don't like us shoving things down their throat. One of the things is we don't like them shoving illegal immigrants into our country and putting us on the back end and then telling us that we're racist or something if we're not inclusive and letting these people come in. And one of those people is the man chicken, up in not California, but up in Canada. The man chick is back, y'all. He done got a change of heart now that he's up for, I guess, re-election. And a lot of Canadians don't want him to run the country anymore. So now look what he's doing, y'all. He's in with all MAGA. He's trying to make Canada a MAGA country all of a sudden. I wonder if the Canadians buying it. Let's see what he got to say. Check this out. Man chicken. Oh, I didn't put the man chicken.
A federal job. We have the levers to rein it in, so we are.
This is a big change, a major cut to immigration, reducing permanent immigration levels by at least 20%.
A new string of measures to clamp down on temporary immigrants.
That means a decrease in international students, temporary foreign workers. Canada's new immigration plan is straightforward. Lower the number of new immigrants coming into Canada, both temporary and permanent.
Yeah. Now, isn't that crazy? How common sense kicks in when they feel like the people are rising up against their raggedy policies? Or could it be that they always had common sense, but they were evil? See, we like to think that, wow, these people running these countries, they're really horrible at running. They stink. They're making bad choices. I mean, what are they doing? They don't know what they're doing. But actually, they know exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they're smart enough and got enough common sense to see the stuff that we all saw. It's not smart to bring in a lot of illegal immigrants, change the culture of your country, tell your folks to shut up, put people in jobs that might take jobs from the people in your country. Don't ask them about should we do this. Stick a lot of folks in their cities, in their neighborhoods, take up their resources, go to their schools, possibly increase the crime in multiple areas. The fallout is tremendous. It's vast. It's unknown. It's kind of like when they forced the vaccine on everybody. We don't even know the long-term damage that's done, just like when you do what Canada has done and what our government has done these last 4 years and beyond, where we won't even be able to tell the real impact of all of these illegal immigrants being shuffled into our country, neighborhood, school. We won't even ever be able to quantify it. So the best we can do is stop the bleeding, reverse it, and get these folks out of here. But that doesn't mean there's not damage done, which we're going to be talking about that tonight as we get into this. But it looks like the man chicken all of a sudden done tried to man up a little bit. Or could it be? Could it be that the man chicken is concerned that, usually America sets trends, and they rejected that. The Biden administration and all this policy about bringing illegal immigrants in. Maybe I should go ahead and pretend that now I'm being hard. Now I'm coming down on immigration, and I'm going to make sure I look at the people first. Whereas this man has not operated like that at all up until now. So were you just blind? Did you not understand the impact of illegal immigration? Did you just not care? So how'd you get this revelation? What made you come to your senses? Or did you always have them and you just simply knew exactly what you were doing when you were bringing in all those illegal immigrants? Just like our fake behind Kamala Harris. Yeah, she knew exactly what was going on. Joe knew what was going on. And that's why they never punish Mayorkas/Mucus. Because how can you punish somebody who is fulfilling the will of the Democrat Party? They wanted this dude to go in there and break that border. Nobody was surprised. All the fallout and the carnage that came. Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't incompetent. They were absolutely evil. And that is why Americans have rejected that administration and Kamala, because they know when she does what the man chicken just did and now pretend to act like, well, now I'm going to be tough on immigrant. No one has prosecuted more international, all of that mess. We weren't buying it. And I hope the Canadians do not buy what the man chicken is selling them. Underneath all those feathers, he's still a chicken. So don't buy it, don't fall for it, and get his butt out of there. I want our neighbors to have sense. And that means Canada. And if they don't have sense, then we're going to have to go ahead and help them, just like Mexico. See, they lost their mind under Biden again. They had regained their senses under Trump, and now all of a sudden they lost it under Biden. But don't worry. Their common sense is coming back real soon, which brings me to this. How did we get here in America to where we're now furious? Yeah, we're now furious. We're able to sit back and see some of the carnage, the damage that is done, the immediate impact of illegal immigration, starting with this. And I brought this up yesterday about Laken Riley. But to really drive it home, to see how complicit the Biden administration was in this whole endeavor, the damage that they've done to the lives of this family. Here's a clip from the trial the other day that really described the heinous crime that this man committed on Laken Riley. And then we're going to go from there before we get into ripping, and I mean ripping, some of the resistance. Now, before we go ahead, I also want to mention that I am aware that Matt Gaetz have pulled out of the AG runnings. I guess, you know, he met with some senators and they were like, yeah, you're not going to pass and this and that. And it's sad because, you know, Trump, I think, would have rided it. No, you can't say that. He would have rode. Yeah, that don't rhyme. Ride and die. He was willing to ride and die with Matt Gaetz. But I don't know. Maybe they got to him and said, we might can't stop you or whatever, but we'll go after somebody you love. Who knows what they try to do to make this man step down. But all I got to say is I hope that President Trump replaces him with somebody with the same tenacity to really do it. If he really wants to be, you know, kind of tricky, he should put Steve Bannon. I'm nominating Steve Bannon, Roger Stone. They'd be like, whoa, let's get some Matt Gaetz back. Let's go ahead and get Matt Gaetz back. So we'll see what the future lies for Matt. But I want somebody who is able to see the whole chessboard and somebody who don't have a short-term memory to forget what these people have done. I don't want nobody getting in, we're going to let bygones be. But I want them to investigate stuff. I want them to snoop around and figure out how things came together, how we got here. You know, that's what I need. I want somebody in there like that. And Matt is one of those people that I know would have done that based on all of the things that he observed and he addressed throughout his time in the House. I mean, he wasn't letting nothing go. And he saw and caught stuff that we all saw and caught. And other Republicans act like they didn't see it. See, that was, you know, what, it wasn't a big deal. I would have never caught that. That's why I think he was a great pick, because of the way he saw the game that was being played. And the AG is like the queen on the board. See, you don't want to get the queen taken right in the beginning of the game. So the next AG got to be an amazing pick, just like Matt, without maybe some of the controversy. Now, let's get into it, because here's how we got here, y'all. This is just one case, an example. Check this out. This is unfortunate. I hope you guys can.
And when Laken Riley refused to be his victim, he bashed her skull in with a rock repeatedly. That is what this case is all about. The evidence will show that Laken fought. She fought for her life. She fought for her dignity. So the medical examiner.
So now, she fought for her life for 18 minutes while this animal right here did what he did. And here's some of the things, if you're a little sensitive, just prepare yourself, because they describe what he did. And the reason I call him an animal is because when you get to a point where you can do this to a human being and feel nothing, you're operating like an animal. See, and when Donald Trump brought up MS-13 and he mentioned that they were animals, and Nancy Pelosi came out and said, you know what, these people are all God's children. I wanted to go ahead and snatch those false teeth out of her mouth, because, you know, you can be a creation of God, but not necessarily a child of God. And when you can do some of the things that these people are able to do without feeling remorse, then you have put yourself in the animal category. Animals feel no remorse when they kill other animals. You know, they don't look at this as an atrocity. They don't see this as taking a life. They see this as, I'm just doing what feels good, what's natural, what's impulsive. I don't see the reason that other humans watching a group of lions ripping a lion apart. One of the best documentaries I ever seen was the Lions of Sabi or something like that. It was 6 big adult male lions that had a coalition, and they just took over all of Africa, man. They were vicious, and one of the leaders in the pack was named Mr. T, and he was especially vicious. And at the end of the documentary, the commentator, the people who've been following them, said some people might look at Mr. T and say, wow, he went way over the top with his viciousness. But in reality, Mr. T was being the best lion that he could be. See, so Mr. T felt no remorse. This dude was relentless. But see, he's an animal. But to watch what he was doing to other animals and just lick his paws afterwards, like, this is nothing. I don't see what the problem is. What? This is what all lions do. This is how this man operated. Yeah, no remorse. This was something business as usual. He should be treated like an animal. See, he got life. They should have given, now I don't know what the law is down there in Georgia, if you can, send somebody to the chamber or whatever. But, honestly, you find somebody that is able to compartmentalize what they do to be able to treat this man like an animal in a nice closed room somewhere, because you can only imagine the fear, the confusion as this woman was fighting for her life, wondering, why me? I mean, how did this happen to me? Only to find out that it was the Biden administration, Democrats, that facilitated this, And so if I'm her family, I'm furious, especially to find out that this guy was flown down there to do this.
Lakin was sent to GBI headquarters in Atlanta, Decatur, where Dr. DeMarco conducted an autopsy on her the very next day after her murder. What the medical examiner found is that Lakin had depressed skull fracture on the left side of her head, and she had 8 other lacerations on the left side of her head, which literally looked like holes. She had a small subarachnoid hemorrhage on the right side of her head, and she had multiple abrasions to her face, her neck, and her torso. She also had what's called petechia in both eyes, which is consistent with some form of asphyxia.
Now, the reason that I play that is to see how inhumane this man, treated her. You can't have human feelings and emotions to be able to do that to another human. Whole life ahead of her. And this is how her life ended, at the hands of this animal. And when you look at it, it didn't have to happen. Now, you look at what this guy did to her, and then you look at this guy right here that was responsible for it, and this response, how casual. Had to force him to say her name. And he got it wrong.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal.
Lincoln Riley. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene baited him into making a jackass of himself. But then what do? This is Democrats.
That's right.
You use the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Lakin.
Now, they send tight knees, no base, to come out there and clean it up. Yeah. So instead of addressing the pain of her family, instead of revealing the part that him and his policies and all of those people who changed up the requirements that come into the country, instead of revealing how it was, his administration that flew this man from New York down there to commit this murder, what does he do? He wants to go ahead and show that for the animal, I want to go ahead and treat him humanely.
Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. When I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood.
What would you call that guy? I mean, vermin is a little too good to call that man right there that did that. And here's this guy. He's sensitive. He's sensitive to it. The whole Democrat Party is more willing to defend animals like that guy. Now, understand, he might be an outlier when it comes down to illegal immigrants, but there's a whole bunch of them now running around. 13,000 or so of them are, I guess, on the list of potentially or did murder somebody in another country, and they're all here. They're all here. And this guy right here is more interested in making sure that he doesn't offend that animal and other illegal immigrants than he is addressing the part that he and his party has played in that woman's death. That is why they got their butts beat. That is why all of these folks should be investigated. And it also should be brought up the fact that these people played a part in that murder. They helped facilitate it. With their raggedy policies, they assisted it. Now, how would they feel if something like that happened to a family member of theirs and you are able to trace it back to seeing that this person was stopped multiple times, should have never been here, don't have a car, but somehow went and got a flight on government money to the location where the murder took place. And now he comes out and he's more interested in making sure that he addressed them as undocumented. Undocumented. It's important to these fools to try to change the language so that when Tom the Hammer Holman comes down on them, or when Trump send in the National Guard on these people, these folks will say, well, really, you're not sending them in to get illegal immigrants. These are simply migrants, undocumented citizens, undocumented Americans. And then he ends with this.
I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect.
Like the guy treated Laken Riley? I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Yeah, like we're about to find out some of the other ones have done. But there it is. That's Democrats for you. So when I hear people out here trying to support this party, or is dumb enough like what we saw last night when we got into the segment where people out in LA is begging for Los Angeles to become a sanctuary city, and I'm saying you are asking for trouble. You idiots don't realize it, but there is a group of people as we close tonight's show that have come to their senses. They realize it, and they bring hope to me that there is some hope. There is a God. There is some hope in humanity. But let's finish hearing this fool as we close out him talking about, I shouldn't have said that, undocumented. And then says this.
Look, they built the country.
They built the country. Yeah, I didn't know illegal immigrants built our country. Did you know that? I mean, there's a lot of folks out there that did play a great part in building the country, but illegal immigrants did not. Okay. They might be building some businesses and putting a lot of money in a lot of folks' pockets over here as they build products and as they, work with services and stuff like that. But really the foundation of the country, when they was throwing up skyscrapers and putting in railroads, those weren't illegal immigrants building the country. But see, that's what Democrats do. Yeah, they don't even recognize the part that American citizens played. They want to go ahead and pander to the immigrants more than us, which brings me to the Dirtbag Award of the year. Now, I'm saying a lot. I'm saying this is the Dirtbag Award of the year. I ran across this morning when I was riding around on the man truck. This, I guess, ABC, I forget what network he's from, a guy who covered the Laken Riley trial. Now, we just heard how animalistic this person treated this woman, how horrific this was, and he got sentenced to life without no chance of parole. And what does this dirtbag do? Yeah, he gets the dumpster juice, dirtbag, douchebag, hot water bottle, snag-a-tooth, stinking two-bit, low-down, dirty, backstabbing, Democrat, prostitute award of the year. Look what he still tries to do as he comes out with this garbage. This man, I don't even know his name.
Death of Laken Riley and the subsequent trial has essentially been
Ike. Yeah, somebody get Ike. I'm gonna have to go and find this dude on Twitter. That's what I'm gonna have to do on X and be like, I heard what you had said, man. Yeah, instead of recognizing the heinous crime, Ike here decides to come out and go after Trump and insinuate that it was Trump's fault that Laken Riley got killed.
massive political lightning rod here in this country. And you said it there yourself, the president-elect campaigning on the death of Laken Riley and pointing to the current administration, saying that their laws and what they're calling failed policies contributed.
What do you do when you're running? You want to convince people of why you're important, why you're running. The opposite of what another party is doing. You know, all the damage, the carnage. And this right here is something that when people say, whoa, wait, an illegal killed this woman and this illegal shouldn't have been in the country, do you want him to be silent about that? Do you not think that her death and, the way she died and how it could have been avoided and how it was a result of the Biden administration's policies, do you want Trump to be silent about that? This is one of the things that showed a lot of Americans why Trump was more important to vote for than Biden or Kamala. See, because everybody, after hearing her story, can imagine, what if that was my daughter? What if that was me? This was a random killing. During the trial, this man apparently told his roommate, I'm going out hunting for women. Yeah. So he just went out like, there's one. I think I could get away with this. And just did it. Like it was nothing. Got busted on camera, taking his gloves off, his coat and stuff, putting it in the garbage. It's almost like they don't even realize they're in a whole nother country, and whatever you was doing down there in Guatemala or wherever you came from, you can't be up here doing this. But nonetheless, he brought that same mentality right here. Come to find out, they knew he was a part of a gang, but they let him in here anyway. He had multiple charges. They had a warrant out for his arrest. And they're flying this fool right down there to commit this murder. But then you get Ike, who comes out here and tries to say that Trump campaigned off his darn right. Somebody need to recognize what took place in this lady's life right here. And her family loves Trump. But let's finish with Ike winning his award.
To Laken Riley's death, I want to remind you that Ibarra entered this country illegally in 2022, according to law enforcement officials, and he was paroled and released for further processing by ICE.
Oh, for further processing by ICE, paroled and released. That's one miss. There you go. They said they didn't have enough room to keep him, so just release him into the interior. There you go. That's smart. That's smart. But just think about this. That's just one dude. They released a plethora of folks just like him right into our interior. Under the Biden administration. Now, you telling me everybody who has a fingerprint on this travesty should not be brought up on some type of charges? Now, this bum is more interested in protecting the narrative of the Democrats not being responsible for this right here than he is the actual situation and travesty for the family. That's what he's doing. He's taking this moment as he's talking about Trump campaigned on this. Now, what are you doing? You're propagandizing over the whole situation. You're using all of this right here to push more lies, more propaganda. And he's talking about Trump did it.
And since that time he entered the country, he was arrested another time. Law enforcement officers saying that he was arrested in 2023 in New York City and charged with acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17.
Well, look at that. And somehow still ended up in Georgia. But you want to focus on Trump. That's why you're the dirtbag of the year. You want to focus on Trump's part that he didn't play in this. Yeah, you're sitting here highlighting all the times that they touched this guy. Sitting next up, touched him there. Oh man, you could have stopped him there. Oh, send him down here. Oh, he did that down there too. Oh, you know what? Let him go. Let him go. All the times this guy could have been stopped, multiple times, but somehow, it wasn't fate that led him there. It was the Biden administration's policies that led him there. This wasn't one of those, wow, this guy lived there, he's an American citizen, and he just happened to be crazy. This was, we assisted, and we could have stopped it. But what is he more concerned about? What is Ike more concerned about? Winning this award? That's what he's more concerned about, by sitting here trying to blame this on somehow Trump.
As well as a motor vehicle violation. But it's important to note that although there is very little evidence indicating a connection between immigration and violent crime, this is...
Once again, still helping the Democrats out. Huh, Ike? Yeah, that they got their hand up your butt so far that they're working your mouth, you muppet. That there's still no evidence that crime. Do you think Laken Riley in that 18 minutes of struggling for her life was thinking about that? Well, you know what though? Even though I happen to draw the short straw and happen to be victim of one of their precious illegal immigrants that is a murderer, I can't really complain too much about it because I'm sure the majority of them aren't criminals. You think that made it more easier for her to accept her fate or her family? Or what about the fact that many of them don't even report the crimes coming from illegal immigrants because they release them? They release them because they don't want all of that data to filter in and show really how responsible and irresponsible the Democrat Party is. Just like they covered up all the FBI crime statistics and said crime is down for the Democrats. And only to find out that, nope, it wasn't. So how do you explain all of the 13,000 or so folks that allegedly done murdered somebody, and then the 200 or so thousand of them that needs to be deported because they got some type of criminal background? So I'm sure Ike wouldn't be that generous if somebody did something to him and you're thinking to yourself, this person shouldn't even be in the country, but yet I'm a victim of bad policies, bad Democrat policies that could have saved my life or stopped this from happening to me. But they let this dude go because they didn't want to bring a lot of attention to how crazy these policies are. Now, I'm upset about this because this right here lays the groundwork for how stupid moving forward these Democrat politicians in these cities are. After all of this, and they still are trying to hang on to their precious illegal immigrants. So let's finish going ahead and seeing him win the Dirtbag Award of the Year.
Still something the President-elect Trump, several Republicans on the Hill wanted to essentially plant their flag on and point that to the current Biden administration. And we saw that.
No, it's not about planting a flag. It's about the truth, Ike. I'm going to find Ike on X. Is Ike on X? I'm going to have to go find Ike on X and give him the business. It's about the truth. But see, whenever the Republicans point out the truth, all of a sudden they're politicizing it. And you know what? All they're doing is propagandizing it. And you know what? Then all of this stuff. And I'm saying it's the truth. I mean, the Biden administration wasn't going to come out and address this. They weren't going to come out and be like, this is a horrible situation. It should have never happened. Our policies actually is responsible. If it was up to them, they would have never mentioned this case. Ever. They would have let this whole thing go right up under the radar. Wouldn't have even recognized it. So somebody had to bring it to somebody's attention, Ike. But what are you doing? Trying to blame us for highlighting this, this heinous crime right here.
And even as early as President Biden's latest State of the Union address, where Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene infamously interrupted President Biden, forcing him to acknowledge the death of Laken Riley.
And she shouldn't have had to force him, Ike. That's what you're missing, ABC, whoever platformed Ike. Yeah, she shouldn't have had to force him. He should have came out and said, I'd like to go ahead and acknowledge. Yeah, he should have invited those parents down there and apologize to them. He should be begging for their apologies. For their forgiveness. If that's what he should be doing, he should be groveling. See, same thing with Mucus, all of them. But when they're responsible for the death of American citizens, they pretended, I didn't even know that. What? That happened? You gotta be kidding me. And then they gotta get forced into having to come out and acknowledge stuff. Now understand, Creepy was the only one that said her name and he screwed that up. But yet you go to Mucus, he didn't even say her name. The victim is very tragic, and it's always tragic when something like that happens. But let me be clear. The only person responsible for that is the victim. Oh, of course, now you want to get clear and specific. Is the murderer himself. Yeah, you don't want that blame distributed. Yeah, you want to act like now all of a sudden there's no collective blame. Whereas in every other case, it's always everybody's responsible for the damage until we're responsible. And then we want to go ahead and say, well, hey, look, man, don't be spreading that around. It's just that guy right there. Focus on him. Focus on him. Because we don't want y'all to start looking around like, how many other of these people are running around here? How do I know whether or not one of these guys are in my neighborhood when I go jogging? I got a friend in Atlanta. She got young girls. She's like, Kev, I'm scared. And she live in a nice area. She's like, I'm scared to let my girls go out and just play down the street. Don't know. This is where we're at. Back in the day, kids go ahead outside. Just be back before the sunlight goes down the street lights come on. Where the kids are, they're down the street playing, and then they're riding their bikes and stuff like that. But now, when you got millions of illegal immigrants walking around our country, and many of them you don't know who they are, where they are, you got to look over your shoulder. Shoot, but not according to Ike. Not according to Ike. It's Trump and them politicizing it.
Something that President Biden did by holding up a pin in her during that State of the Union. But it is important to note that all of this vitriol that we're hearing from Republicans and President-elect Trump regarding the policies of the Biden administration, it's important to know that President-elect Trump did force Republicans to essentially tank a bipartisan border security bill
that would have let millions of them come in a year, 5,000 a day. Wouldn't have made them stay in Mexico. Wouldn't have solved the problem. Would have only contributed it to it. Would have normalized illegal immigration. That's what you're saying, Ike? You're not going to mention the bipartisan bill that was passed in I won't say bipartisan, but the bill that was passed in the House that Chuck Schumer never even wanted to look at. Wasn't even going to bring it to, the floor. You're not going to mention that one though, right? And I'm assuming that you're also forgetting that the Democrats in the House said that bill was dead on arrival before Trump even weighed in on it. They're like, man, we're not, signing that. We're not going to go ahead and support that bill. That's horrible. Horrible. Yeah. And Trump comes in and says, yeah, it is horrible. Don't do it. But yet now it's Trump's fault, who it wasn't even in office. But see, this right here shows that this guy's still a part of the propaganda machine. They said, look, man, we all know that this is bad. We all know the verdict came out. We all know that it's been highlighted now of what really happened to Laken and how it happened. How somehow this guy ended up down there on our watch and we assisted. So we just took a shellacking in this election. Let's stop the bleeding. Okay. We don't want folks to know that we hid these details. And now all of a sudden they're finding out that we assisted in this. Yeah. They're finding out. Well, thank God we all voted for the Republicans, because now we find out that the Democrats were aiding and abetting criminals like they're about to do again in these sanctuary cities. So Ike here is launching a preemptive strike to run interference in the future for these dumb Democrats who now have to come out and defend why they won't let the hammer come in and drop the hammer on these people in their cities.
That both sides of the aisle said would have essentially addressed border security and immigration issues, Kira.
So there you have it. Ike right now has jumped all the way up to the top of the Dirtbag Award of the year. The fact that he came out and actually said that after this trial ended, and instead of focusing on the animal that did that to her, he focuses on Trump and the part that him and the Republicans have played in this. So I hope he gets a football to the groin. That's what I hope. Thrown by Tom Brady, somebody who got some arm strength, because so they can put those testes all the way up in his throat. I want him to be like, throw me the ball through. Beep! I want him to shoot right out of his nostrils. He needs the football to the groin. So you would think after all of that, after seeing that the Democrats that are harboring all of these illegal immigrants in their cities would say, wow, that right there has been highlighted nationally. Maybe we should go ahead and look at why folks voted, for Trump and how many folks in our district voted for Trump, and maybe gather some trends and see that, whoa, the trend is showing that Americans are not cool with illegal immigrants being forced into the country and into their neighborhoods. Maybe we should go ahead and say, this is our time to surrender and wave the white flag and say, come on in, Hammer. Come on in, Hammer. They're over there. Yeah, we stored them all in the kids' schools. We stored them all in hotels. We built facilities for them. They're all in there. Go get them. Go get them. But instead of doing that, what's happening?
We are not leaving here. We are staying here in New York. I am my little chubby one. So please respond to the other video I sent you.
Y'all hear that? Now, this is that guy that in the beginning of my live stream, somebody said the baby Hammer. So he got a little chubby one. He came over here thinking, I'm going to go ahead and, drop a bun here in the U.S. on U.S. soil. Then this way, somebody said John Elway died. No, I don't think so. Did he? Huh. Well, we'll find out after the show. But this guy, He figured I'm gonna go ahead and punch my ticket by having a little one right over here in the U.S. and I ain't going nowhere. And dumb enough to make a video threatening the Trump administration, trying to extort them for money. He said he ain't going nowhere. I got a baby right here, an American citizen.
If you are not going to give us $20,000 because this son of mine is from New York.
This got to be one of the dumbest humans on the planet. This is that moment where you should have been laying low. You should have been going, you know what? But instead, he goes viral to where it gets all the way to the Hammer. Now, the Hammer said, you know what? Target acquired. Thank you for posting that video as you sit back and use your kid to extort money from the U.S. Unless you give me $20,000. I'll give you 20,000 knuckles. How about that? What a cute baby for us to adopt. There you go. Send you back and keep the baby. The baby's an American citizen, but I'm sorry, you got to go. Maybe we even let the mother stay. But you arrogant snot. This is what the Democrats have produced. They made these people feel like they're running the show. Now, if we let this go, it's over with. See, I got to go back to how when I was a teacher, y'all remember the story of Taji, the kid with the gold tooth? Yep, the one came in with the deep voice. With that big gold tooth and was laughing at me. Look, y'all, the bouncer's back. You think I could have let that go? Yeah, the kid who was trying to put me in the middle as the monkey with a baseball and give me the ball. Hey, man, give me the ball. Get me the ball. At that moment, I said, man, if I let this slide, I'm the monkey the whole year. And what did Taji do? Oh, what you gonna do, huh? You gonna grab me? You gonna grab me? Hey, y'all, the bouncer's gonna grab me. That's exactly what I did. I snatched that young boy over that weight bench, made sure I scraped all of his chest going over too. I wasn't trying to lift him over. I wanted him to pick him completely up like big time wrestling and slam that dude to the ground. I said, man, I know I'm about to go to jail for sure, but I'm going to jail with my dignity intact. Yeah, he got up and said, man, I'm pressing charges on you. You're a grown man. Guess what, though? Taji never even looked my way the rest of the year. He'd see me and turn around and start walking back the other way. I sent the message. I didn't care about the fallout. I'm like, I would not let Taji run the school. This guy right here, if he gets away with that, he should know that the U.S. don't negotiate with terrorists anymore. The Biden administration did, but not us. Yeah, so yeah, we'll keep the baby, but send your butt back.
He is American. Donald Trump. I await your response.
How arrogant is that? Can you see, this is where the Democrats have gotten our country to. This is how foolish we look. This is how weak we look, to where folks that shouldn't even be in our country, because Democrats have made them feel like, oh yeah, you know what, you got rights too, even though you're not even a citizen here. Yeah, instead of being humble, quiet, laying low, hiding out, not bringing any attention to themselves, they're boldly making videos telling Trump to do something about it, hoping they garnish enough radical leftist support to where, you know what, I get enough people behind me, it might save me from getting deported, or who knows, they might even give me the $20,000. Man, I hope they make an example out of this dude. No other country could you go to and do something stupid like that when you shouldn't even be in the country. Shouldn't even be in the country. So, guys, let's continue.
New York City, another story about this city where residents are already questioning why the flood of random attacks.
And this particular attack with an unusual twist clearly proves that nobody is immune to street violence.
Nobody? What street violence by who? Now, we done heard that up in New York, innocent people got stabbed by somebody who shouldn't have been on the streets, who was mentally ill. But you telling me something else happened? Well, wait a minute.
This time, an assistant district attorney here in Manhattan. What? She was confronted Sunday at her apartment in Midtown.
And the evildoer in all this, hitting her up for money and then engaged in a disgusting behavior. What? Here's Lauren Glassberg.
Who is it?
Well, that suspect, 25-year-old Brandon Samosa, will be...
Wait a minute, Samosa. That doesn't sound like an American last name. I'm hoping this isn't one of their precious illegal immigrants that black dude Ike said there's no evidence that that crime is related to the. Hopefully this right here is not one of those people.
Be arraigned at criminal court here in Lower Manhattan, but it will actually be a Bronx district attorney that prosecutes him. That's to avoid any conflict of interest since the alleged victim
Well, who is he? Where is he
a
from?
Manhattan assistant district attorney.
Wow.
This is video of a smiling Brandon Somoza being led out of the Midtown South precinct on West 35th Street this morning.
Well, look at that. So now, instead of coming out with his head down, instead of coming out embarrassed, instead of coming out humble, he comes out, woo! Yeah, I want to show all of my homies from back where I came from that I could break the law, steal, rob. I don't care. So now, this lady who was 38 years old, district attorney up in New York, was, I guess, well, let them tell you.
Police say at about 2 a.m. Sunday, he robbed a 38-year-old woman in the hallway of her Hell's Kitchen apartment building. He allegedly grabbed her purse, cell phone, and bank cards, and also performed a lewd act.
Now, understand, this now is touching everybody. Because folks like that ain't rap tight, folks like, remember, Trump was telling everybody they're releasing their criminals. They're sending us their murderers. They're sending us their worst, the ones that are psychotic gang members. Yeah, this is a great way because we have a window of stupidity the last 4 years to where America just rolled over and let these other countries have their way with illegal immigration. And now you got a whole bunch of folks running around who might just randomly pick somebody. So this woman, I'm sure, being a district attorney, thought she was safe in her own hallway at her apartment. And then this guy just picks her. Now, what if he would have went to the next level and did what that one dude did to Laken Riley? This woman's blessed to be able to escape and talk about it. I wonder if it changed her view on the illegal immigration situation in New York. Hopefully Mayor Peanut / Mayor Coconut is listening to this and heard about this. But what was Alvin Bragg doing about this? What is he doing? He was chasing Trump. What is Big Cankles, Big Ankles, Big Foot, LaQuisha James doing? Chasing Trump. We're prepared for any retaliation from Donald Trump. We've studied him in this. You ain't studying this stuff? What is Big Tooth Kathy Hochul doing? Chewing on a carrot, probably.
The victim is a Manhattan assistant DA.
What?
She was not injured. Police traced her stolen cell phone to a hotel on West 45th Street, which led them to believe the suspect is a migrant, and they were able to track him down. Somoza was arrested just last night. Police say he was using drugs on the street and had stolen items with him. Police believe he is part of Tren de Aragua. That's the Venezuelan gang that has preyed on people in Times Square and Central Park.
Yep, there you go. Invite gang members right into the country. Invite all kind of folks that you can't even vet, that you assume this won't have anything to do with me, won't impact me one way or another. I'm just here to facilitate one of the greatest crimes against the United States ever as a Democrat politician. But you would think after seeing this right here and hearing about this story, that other mayors and governors would say, wow, look what just happened up in New York, man. You know, I would hate for a story to come out like this in my area after I get on TV and say stupid stuff like what we're about to hear.
Somoza is facing a number of counts, including sexually motivated robbery and burglary. He also has 6 prior arrests, all from this year on similar crimes.
Yeah, there you go. But he's still around to commit that one. Yeah, 6 prior arrests. But you know, don't worry about it. I'm sure he's gonna go ahead and behave after what, the 5th one? All right, now look, this is your 6th time in here. All right, we're going to go ahead and send you back out on the street, but don't let me see you in here again. Only to end up seeing some of these people, you know, for the last time after something horrific happened, like what took place with Laken Riley and many others. You sit back and go, wait, all right, the 4th time we saw you, 5th time. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we thought you would stop, but you progressively got worse. Because the signal and message that we were sending you is that we're not here to punish you for your crimes. We're here to cover them up. We're here to help facilitate them because, see, if you haven't observed, we're your advocates. We're sitting back letting you out of back doors so ICE can't get you. We're here getting on TV saying you're a part of our family. Yeah, you guys are Americans and we're going to fight against Trump and all of this. So sure, go ahead and make a video telling Trump, come get me. Yeah, but give me $20,000. Sure, go ahead. Because we got Democrat politicians coming out saying stupid stuff like this.
And he's believed to have arrived in the U.S. in February of 2023. In Lower Manhattan, Lauren Glassberg, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion. If you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way. We're going to do it.
Excuse me, please get the heck out the way. Excuse me, please get the heck out the way. Here comes the hammer, hammer, hammer.
So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send to New York City because we're going to do the job.
We're going to do the job. And I'm sure that DA, district attorney, assistant district attorney, is now going, where's the hammer? Where's the hammer? Because I never thought that I would come that close. I guarantee she was scared to death. Probably going in her door next, that guy shows up like, give me your cell phone, your purse, and all of that, and do something lewd in front of her, and she walks away unscathed. I know she's going, holy crap, this is real. And I've been a part of a system here that's okay with it. So now the hammer is like, yeah, we're coming to do the job, and if y'all don't like it, get out the way. My gut tells me that Mayor Coconut is going to be like, yeah, hey, shoot, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go and do what you got to do. Hey, Trump, let me holler at you for a minute. Is that pardon still on? You're still good with the pardon, right? We still good? Okay. So let's go ahead and see what these other folks had to say.
Will you job without you, or will you?
So here we go, back to these dumb dims.
Well, I think the diversion of law enforcement from the work that they do every day to keep our communities safe.
To keep our community safe? From who? Huh? Yeah. So here you are, you idiot, talking about law enforcement here to do that. As you guys make their job harder by importing a lot of illegal immigrants that are unvetted, and you're talking about make their job safe. Yeah, you probably was one of those people who was like, we should defund the police.
Hiding in fear. We saw that under previous state.
Hiding in fear, who? Who's hiding in fear? See, our law abiding, like right now, I'm not a criminal. Why would I be walking around hiding in fear? See, the fact that you even have to mention this makes me realize that you're aware that these people shouldn't be here. Folks that are legally here, they walk around with confidence. Yeah, they're not hiding in fear, but you're trying to make it seem like somehow there's a community of Americans in Arizona just hiding in fear because of what? So you're talking about then illegal immigrants that should not be here, and then you're talking about they're hiding in fear, which they should be. Because the only reason you would feel that way is if you were here illegally. If I break into a house, I'm not going to be sitting on their couch watching TV, eating a ham sandwich. You would probably hide because you're going, oh crap, they're home. I should be in the house as a cat burglar. But according to her, they're hiding in fear.
Policies here, and it harms communities. It tears families apart. And
tears families apart. American families? See, these are the questions that lady or whoever's interviewing her should be asking. Every question, every time she says something stupid, she should be like, is that American families you're talking about? All family? No. Are those American families you're talking about? Because see, what do they have to worry about?
That's not gonna happen on my watch.
What? Hey, what? Trump's coming in with all of his foot soldiers to snatch away your citizens, your real citizens? Or they're coming in to take away illegal immigrants. You big fake governor that shouldn't even be a governor.
Boston has considered itself a sanctuary city, which, as you know, limits cooperation with some federal immigration laws. President-elect Trump has promised mass deportations after he returns to the White House.
Look at this.
How will you respond as mayor of the largest city in the state, the largest city in New England, and a powerful city in this country?
So now Boston is one of the most liberal, woke cities. Let's hear this woman right here, something Lou, explain to us why she's going to protect their precious illegal immigrants. Now, understand, guys, we just saw examples of what happens when cities protect illegal immigrants. Yeah. So here she is out here. Well, listen to what she says.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, for the last decade or so,
Michelle,
we have had laws on the books. I was actually serving on the city council at that point when we passed the Trust Act. And I think it's important to get a little bit into what exactly that means, because sometimes people use the term sanctuary city to mean a city that is welcoming of immigrants, which of course we are and have always been.
Well, so far so good. That's true. Which we are and always will be. Is it? Is they let them come in and this and that, this and that. Is your home a sanctuary? Is you got a sanctuary home? Are they allowed to just come in and post up and put their feet up on your couch and start eating all your snacks and stuff like that? Is everything open for strangers? Folks that shouldn't be there? Is there a sanctuary bank? Is there a bank that says, you know what, you get to this bank, you can rob us and there's nothing that can happen. You get here, you can go ahead and just take money out. Do we have other things like that? So you right here is willing to go ahead and say we're sanctuary city, which means what?
And sometimes that is used to suggest that there might be some immunity where criminal actions are you look the other way at and this and that. So
we got plenty of examples. See, these folks that are doing stuff like that usually get caught doing it in a sanctuary city, just like down there in Georgia. There you go, just like down there in Georgia. Interesting. So how can you, Miss Wu, guarantee that the folks in your city are not criminals and are not going to hurt anybody? Huh? How can you do that? Or do you do it as an afterthought when something happens? Are you willing to come out and say, oh, shoot, well, you know what, 50,000 of them is in the city. We had no idea that 5 of them were murderers and now they done murdered somebody. My bad. But hey, statistics shows that
in terms of Boston's policy, there's a prohibition on resources and personnel going to enforce civil immigration detainers, meaning Boston Police and other departments cannot cooperate with ICE when it comes to detaining on civil warrants.
Yeah, there you go. Cannot cooperate with ICE. So basically, they're released right back out there. Here you go, you're a good Boston police officer. All right, the car. Yeah, I had to let him out the car because Michelle Wu won't let us arrest him. I had to let him out the car. So now all of a sudden, if you're an illegal immigrant there, just like the one who was released and bounced around and ended up in Georgia, yeah, instead of going ahead and calling ICE and saying, man, this dude, he just robbed somebody, he just did this, he just did that, he got a couple cases here, why don't y'all snatch him out? Y'all got to sit back and say, well, you know what, shoot, just let him out. Hey, but don't you do nothing else. All right, this is 3 times we had to see you in court. So, I don't want to see you back here a 4th time. Yeah, I'm assuming the next time I see you to be something way worse than the 3 times we locked you up to, for this and this and that. So now here she is, basically saying it. They will not cooperate with ICE. Take all of their money. Don't send not 1 dime of federal assistance down there to Miss Wu. Don't do that. Yeah, and then send Tom the Hammer with backup into this city and clean house.
There's still room for cooperation when it comes to the issues that matter to all of our residents: human trafficking, drug trafficking, cyber crimes. And
human trafficking, drug trafficking coming from who? The folks that's running our border right now, which are the cartel, which are smuggling all of these people into all of these cities, you idiot. But here you are, talking about we're fighting against these things as we assist these things in happening. Yeah, we're contributing to all of this stuff. And then we're talking about we have resources here to fight against the stuff that we're responsible for with our bad immigration policies. That is the dumbest thing right here. You don't realize one thing leads to another? So here she is talking about resources now. And this is the reason why we can't work with. Man, if I was President Trump and Tom the Hammer, I would say not only are we coming in to go ahead and get illegal immigrants out of Boston, we're offering any Boston police officer a job with ICE. I would do that. Hey, I know your mayor won't go ahead and allow y'all to help us. So right now we're hiring ICE agents. We'll take all of y'all, okay? And we'll leave Wu, with a couple of counselors and people like that. Maybe some citizens around there with purple hair will assist with the crime. That's what I would do. Yeah, because see, unfortunately, these officers are going to pay the price when it comes down to the funds that are going to be withheld from these cities in these states. So I would offer them a job. We need more ICE agents anyway, and see them bounce off of this precinct. I guarantee they'd be like, man, shoot, I'm going with ICE. and they would also know where everybody is.
Just want to assure everyone that when this passed and in the decades since, it has always been about safety. In fact, the ordinance passed with the full support of not only our local leaders, but law enforcement at every level, because we want immigrants to know that it is safe for everyone to be able to feel comfortable reaching out for emergency services, to report a crime, to ask for help, and generally to be part of our community.
See? So what you're saying is you want them to stay. You want them to be a part of the community. If it was up to Ms. Wu here, she would bypass any type of court hearing about whether you really are here for asylum or not. And she would just say, just give them all amnesty right now. We don't even need to have a hearing or a court case. If this make them a part of the family, let's use up our resources. Let's make them feel comfortable using all of the stuff that our citizens are using, paid by taxpayers' dollars. Yeah, we're more focused on making them feel comfortable than American citizens. And we're not worried about any potential, criminals in their city or in the state or wherever. We're not worried about that stuff. We're more worried about making them feel comfortable.
Is it fair to say Boston has struggled with the migrant crisis, or is that not fair?
No, I mean, resources are stretched.
Resources are stretched? Yeah, there you go. See, they're not learning. They're not learning. So resources are stretched, but guess what? It's okay. I'm sure the people in Boston don't care. That's right. We're all here to do our share.
Are already in a housing crisis, and we know that our shelter system, for example, which the city runs the individual adult shelters, the state runs the family shelters. At the individual level, we have been at winter levels.
Come on, work your way through this stupidity. You see her. Oh, what the resources are tight, but we're in the individual. We're working. Because now I'm about to sound real stupid. As I explained to everybody. That, we're stretched thin, the money's running thin, we've been this and this and that, but all of these problems, but you know what? Don't look at that, because we're a big family.
Overcapacity already during the summer, and much of that is because of newly arrived residents.
During the summer. Yeah.
One of your predecessors, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, former Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, went so far as to open up City Hall to undocumented immigrants. What will Boston's response be if these mass deportations take place?
Yeah, open up City Hall, let them come on in. Yeah, these people are pretty much traitors too. I mean, how can you sit back and harbor illegal immigrants in your city as you sit back and explain that they're taking up resources? Yeah, we're spending extra money. It's tough. But you know what? Suck it up. We didn't do no vote. We didn't ask the people, are y'all okay with this? We just gonna assume that everybody in Boston is woke and is okay with this.
Yeah, look, elections have consequences, and the federal government is responsible for a certain set of actions. In cities, no individual city can reverse or override some parts of that. But what we can do is make sure that we are doing our part to protect our residents in every possible way.
In every possible way. Our residents? What residents? You don't have any residents. The citizens, the American citizens, are your residents. As you're talking about protect our residents. Yeah. Laken Riley was a resident. Many of the other victims of illegal immigrants on cities like this are residents. Did nobody protect them? But you're more worried about the illegal residents.
That we are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear and having large-scale economic impact. And then we are providing the spaces to reach out directly to our residents, because the last thing we want is for people who are part of our economy, part of our school system, part of our community and the fabric of...
It shouldn't be there. The last thing that we want is people that are part of our... You already got people a part of all of those things. They're called American citizens. That's what they're called. But what you're talking about is people that shouldn't even be there. And all of a sudden they're part of our system, or they're paying taxes, or why are they even paying taxes? Do they have work permits? How'd they get here? Yeah, what are you doing?
Our city to feel that all of a sudden they have to retreat into the shadows because of fear that reaching out to city services, whether it's calling 911 when you need it or taking your child to school, those are all city services that have nothing to do with immigration enforcement, and we will continue to protect our residents within those spaces.
Idiots, man. Complete idiots. Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is just think about it. In any other context, if about 2 or 3 million of us decide we're going to grab our kids and family members and drag them to some other country, and then got the nerve to say, now we're going to enroll our kids. We're not even hiding out. We're confident. We're not part of the community. Whereas you know you violated their laws. I mean, we would be drug out. We wouldn't be talking about I'm here over in Russia, and I'm going to enroll my kids right here in this Russian school. And if I need some assistance, am I good? Like I said last night, we would be hunted down. First of all, we wouldn't make it in the country. They would have a secure border. What are you doing? Stop. What are you doing? Don't come any closer. What do you mean asylum? There's no asylum here. You're what? I got to be sensitive because you're a person of color. If you don't get yourself out of here, climate change, what's that? Get out of here. Don't make us say it again. We put this AKA on your butt. Okay. Come on, kids, turn around. Everybody back in the car. That's what would happen. But here in America, they're making videos. I'm here with my son. You're going to give me $20,000 or I'm not going back. Unreal. So we're coming down to the stretch. Look at this.
Defending our residents every possible way. Well, she's not very smart, I'll give her that. Because what I just said is President Trump's going to prioritize public safety threats. What mayor or governor doesn't want public safety threats out of their communities?
Every liberal Democrat mayor and governor. That's the ones who don't care about the fallout of their own citizens.
Man, that's your number one responsibility, to protect your communities.
You would think that. You would think that. Just like it was Joe Biden's number one responsibility is to protect the homeland. Yeah, but they don't care. Democrats, they don't care. And we've seen them still do it.
Exactly what we're going to do. So she helps us, she gets the hell out of the way, because they're going to do it. And look, there's a clear line here, and they can't cross a clear line. I would suggest she read Title 8, United States Code 1324 III, that says, you can't harbor or conceal an illegal alien in front of law enforcement officers. So I hope she don't cross that line. They can not cooperate, but there are certain laws in place that they can't cross, and I hope she doesn't cross it.
I hope they heard the hammer. Because if not, they're going to hear it too late when it comes down on them. You don't want to hear that hammer late. So there you have it. But then we're going to end with this fool. Because the people, unlike in Boston, unlike, out there in some of these other countries, LA, you got some folks over in Chicago who is starting off dropping the hammer before the real hammer gets there, y'all. So we're going to end with this fool.
Your approval rating is at an historic low. Chicagoans are saying that you're a worse mayor than Lori Lightfoot, if you can believe it. Your property tax proposal, $300 million property tax increase, just got shot down 50-1. That's got to be a record. Primarily because Chicagoans felt that any tax increase that you propose is simply a migrant tax. That money's going to pay for migrants, almost to the penny.
Now you see that cone getting restless. This guy's doing to him what Democrats do to Republicans, where they give a monologue about all the things first before they ask the question. You were accused of doing this and that, and then you said this, and remember you had back in the day in 1300 you said that it was that, and then at the end of that, then they pretend, but that was all a part of my question. So now he's giving him a taste, and that cone is getting restless. It's rocking back and forth, and he can't take it.
Considering your rhetoric, even here today, comparing Donald Trump to Hitler.
There it is.
Do you really believe that Donald...
Better hurry up and ask a question, otherwise your arm going to get real tired. Hurry up.
Easy, Cole.
No, I'm good.
Well, we're not, so hurry up.
Right. Well, Mayor Johnson, considering your rhetoric towards Donald Trump, his borders are... Holman has already said...
You're about to get that mic passed. You got to ask the question, sir. You're wasting...
Yeah, his borders are... The hammer Holman has said. So now you don't want to hear about the hammer. He don't want to hear about the hammer. So guess what? He's going to have to hear about the hammer from some of his own people.
Thousands of people on...
Okay, so William check this out. If you don't ask your question, we're going to move on to somebody else.
You're interrupting my question.
You haven't asked it.
Difficult.
Can we move on to the next person, Nef Sahaya? Thank you. Good afternoon.
Okay, see now you're going to get it. You got all of this and this and that. Now you're going to get what you deserve and been asking for. So now these folks get to come in and go ahead and ask some questions and drop the hammer on Conehead. So what they got to say, these the folks down here in Chicago.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now?
They done and all came into this town meeting with hammers.
You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson, you underestimate us. You underestimate the black people and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in your side and we're gonna be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're gonna take matters in our own hand and we're gonna stop it.
Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. Dang on Conehead. I'm loving it. That's what we need to hear out there in LA. That's what we need to hear in Boston. All of these joints where these folks are talking about we're here to protect the immigrants and Donald Trump ain't coming in here and this and this and that. Well, they got a massage for Conehead, that's for sure.
You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago? Yes. That's the statistic.
You know why? Because this is now MAGA country, man. Yeah, Chicago's really turning into MAGA country. Maybe Jesse Smollett right now might have a case or an argument that there was two people with MAGA hats on. And they probably would still be black, though, because it appears that these black folks here are upset and they're MAGA because this is MAGA country.
That means that Illinois is turning purple.
Oh.
We're going to turn red.
Y'all can bird dog me all y'all want, but if it's relationship over duty, then y'all don't serve the blue. And you can smirk all you want.
Mr. Sims, direct your attention towards me.
Oh, you want it? You want it? You want the hammer? You're going to get it. You're going to get it. You hear? Conehead talk about that, man. That's all right. Would you direct your the attention to me? All right, then you want it. You got it.
You a criminal. Why do I got to address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you. Because you're going to protect the undocumented. Why you going to allow for the citizens in Chicago to suffer under your, 33%? Oh, see, Joe Lopez cooked that 3% up a long time ago. Y'all called it a circuit breaker. Y'all been talked about it. Remember, before you came in here and gave that jovial speech? You need to be inspected.
Oh, you want it? You got it. You want it, baby, you got it. That dude wanted it, so he gave it to you. Man, why should I address you? Man, you a criminal. I'm loving it. Wait a minute. So they getting everything warmed up for the hammer. They're like, don't worry, hammer. We'll go ahead and we'll start it right now. We're gonna soften up that cone, with baby hammers. Tink, tink, tink. We want his head nice and tender when you come in. Now, let's hear some more. Let's hear some more before we go.
Creep over there.
14% rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson, across the United States, or how they see you. But 14% rating. Now, I'm going to talk about all those known donations of $11.5 million that came from places like the CTU, the SEIU, the American Federation of Teachers, Illinois Federation of Teachers, and then someone got the nerve to get on there and talk about cutting their pensions. What about our real estate?
Oh my goodness, man! You know what? I don't see how Conehead goes in and sustains this, this abuse right here. Every time he goes in there waiting for him, I know he comes in like, are they out there? Oh man. Okay, all right. I wonder what they're gonna do. They're gonna give me the hammer. Do they brought their hammers? They all got hammers? Yeah, they're all out there with the hammers. Cover me. I'm going in. But there's no cover for you, Brandon. This needs to happen to every single one of these defiant leaders in Democrat cities. They're bringing out the point that, look, man, you don't realize that the country's turning to MAGA country. You're no longer able to sit here and say, I'm pretty comfortable because, it's mostly Democrat voters and they vote stupid. Folks are waking up. And because Conehead, he's not able to see the writing on the wall, along with many of those other ones, they're going to wake up too late underneath the hammer. Finish him, sister.
Because, see, we paid for these properties for a purpose and not for you to go touching it with $300 million that you want to siphon out of the citizens' pockets. Get rid of the illegals, and that'll take your money right back. Start it off with that.
Oh, my. Woo-wee. I want to go up there and pretend I'm a Chicago citizen just so I can join in the hammer time. Where are you from? The north side of Chicago. All right, what's your name? This your first time here? Yes. All right, I want to start off about that Conehead you have. Why do you still have a mohawk and you're a grown man? First things first, shave that off your head. You look ridiculous. Now, let's get into I want to join in the festivities. But we're going to close with this one. My favorite, sister.
acting like, you just gonna bully everybody. You got people, officers whose families don't even want you to come to the funeral. You just like a schoolyard bully. That at some point, and you might not know nothing about it because you grew up in Elgin, but those of us who grew up on the south side and west side of Chicago, we all know at some point that bully gets cornered in the alley, and everybody come at him, and he ain't gonna have nobody to help him.
Wait, now are all these folks the white nationalists he was talking about a couple of days ago when he was talking about how Trump and this and this and all the white national, white supremacy and this and that? They're not that. These are all black people. These aren't the KKK members. That's what I'm wondering. They're up here like, man, dude, you keep abusing us. Yeah, see, you're pushing us, and I'm loving it. Finish him, sister.
That's you. You. Keep thinking you ain't gonna abide by what the president of the United States said.
Oh, girl, I'm loving her. Cause this is MAGA country.
Everybody know better than that. I see you, Anna Valencia, in your red. You know what it is. This is the second time you showed up in city council in red. You know what it is?
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and the rest of them that know what time it is, y'all come on. You leave that loser where he is.
Oh, I'm loving it. You leave that loser where he is. Yeah. Oh, boy. I bet you Brandon's like, man, I'm glad she's not up here, man. I might have a fight on my hands. I bet you she's like, yeah, come on down here. Yeah, come on down here, Leroy. I got something real for your butt and these hands. Boy, she's up here giving him the business, dropping that verbal hammer on him.
He's a loser. He's a loser. No, me and Zoe, we ain't doing nothing for nobody except for ourselves.
Get him, girl.
We got you, loser.
Because this is MAGA
officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States. He will be going back to the White House. I will fight for you, for your family, and your future with every breath in my body. We're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. We're going to lead the greatest comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership. God spared my life for a reason, to restore America to greatness. Together we can truly make America great again.
Yeah, man. Now 47. MAGA country. Woo-wee. I'm excited, y'all. Moving forward. Boy, I tell you, those people up in Chicago gives me hope, guys. The way they was going at Mayor Conehead. I hope they lay into him. I hope they stay on him. Don't let up. And I do hope Tom the Hammer Holman goes in there and makes an example out of him. And every single one of these defiant mayors and governors that are harboring criminals in our country, expose them. And God forbid something happen in the process to some American citizen in one of these cities or states as a result of them being defiant, talking about we ain't going to assist, we ain't going to help them bust up our families and our communities. Man, people like that make me so sick. But don't worry, the hammer is coming. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight. Don't forget to dial or at least text this number 330-974-4607 and text MAGA to that number just in case they bounce me off this platform. And please subscribe to my alternative channel, which is Stop and Think About It. And then if you want to support the channel, you can check out Kevin's Corner Store for some merch. Or you can just simply give through my Cash App and my PayPal link. I appreciate that as well. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you turn your notification buttons on to all and hit the like button on the way out. Okay. So thanks once again. I should be back tomorrow. I'm thinking about going out of town. I don't know. But if I do go out of town, I'll let you know. I might do a question and answer like the old days in my car while I'm driving. All right, let's go. Send them out there. Give me some questions. I'll go ahead and respond to it, but we'll see. All right. But other than that, I think I will be back here tomorrow, same time. I might did start one early. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right. So God bless. God bless America. Let's get out of here, man. Go Steelers. We'll see. We better not lose to the Browns. Almost made me think. Yeah. Take care.